It's been a long time, varlets. Darktide's new Bound by Duty update has just landed, bringing a new Mortis trial map, fresh weapons, and a major talent rework for veterans, psychers, and zealots. And in this sponsored video with Fatshark, I'll show you a build that turns the new Power Falchion into a masterpiece of destruction for some lethal inspiration. Before we dive into the build, let's talk about the Power Falchion first, the veteran's newest exclusive melee weapon. Fast, deadly, and somewhat familiar, it mirrors the Power Sword but with two key differences. First, its special activation uses a heat bar similar to the Relic Blade. It stays empowered until you overheat, locking you out until it cools down. This gives you more uptime and flexibility, but less raw power than the Power Sword. Second, the Falchion trades that loss in damage for superior mobility, letting you stay nimble in combat, a clear edge over the Power Sword. Its moveset borrows some familiar combos, but also introduces unique attack patterns and chains, making it feel fresh even for veteran Power Sword users. This brings us to the two different marks of Power Falchions we are getting. The Iridin Mark I is the base mark for the Power Falchion, and its moveset loosely resembles that of the Achilles Mark VI Power Sword, specifically the Power Sword's push attack into the overhead strike. Key combos for this mark includes a light 1-2 into a block cancel and repeat for general horde clear. Alternatively, you can also do a light 1-2 into a looping heavy light combo instead. For your single target damage, the heavy 1-2 and light attack loop hits pretty hard, but I personally enjoy the light heavy light loop, which lets you be more nimble with your attacks. On the other hand, the Lawbringer Mark IIB feels more like a heavy sword to me. Its primary combo of light 1 to heavy 1 loop feels just like the Mark VI heavy sword, but much more vertical. Key combos for this mark are the heavy 1 light 1 loop for general horde clear, and while this combo is decent in terms of damage, it's also a little bit slow. In fact, I find myself just spamming empowered light attacks for horde clear. Finally, the light 1 and heavy 1 loop for single target damage is a simple one to remember and use. From my experience, the Iridin Mark I is the easier mark to handle, but the Lawbringer has the potential to deal more damage if you can land its attacks. I'm sure you'll find the one that best suits your playstyle once you get it in your hands. The Power Falchion will be readily available to seasoned veterans, while newer veterans will unlock it through the usual progression route. Now, on to blessings. Those familiar with the Relic Blade will notice the Power Falchion basically shares the same blessing pool, with the exception of Decapitator. There are a handful of philosophies when it comes to building it up, but we'll get to that when we reach the build crafting part of the video. Alongside it, we've also received two new weapon marks, the Godwin Branks Mark VI Bolt Pistol and the Locke Mark III Bolt Gun. Both these weapons are built for bigger explosions and stronger stagger, trading raw damage, finesse multipliers, magazine size, and reserve ammo for greater aerial control. In the bolt gun's case, it also fires slower in full auto compared to its current mark. Despite these drawbacks, they still excel at sniping key targets while disrupting enemy pushes with constant explosions and stagger. With our new arsenal covered, let's move on to the fun part, building from scratch with the updated veteran tree. Now, I won't deep dive every change here, but I'll spotlight the key pieces that bring this build together. Our build today puts the Power Falchion front and center, paired with the new bolt pistol for crowd control and a bit of area damage to soften things up. When it comes to the Power Falchion's blessings, cranial grounding is a solid pick, boosting weak spot damage in both normal and empowered states while increasing your uptime. In the second slot, however, it will depend on your needs. You can pick up Wrath for additional cleave to cut through tougher hordes. This is especially useful in high havocs where enemy mass is increased. Or you can choose Energy Leak for faster single target kills, especially against Crushers. For perks, we're gonna take Carapace and Unyielding damage to better handle Crushers, Bulwarks, and monsters. As for the Bolt Pistol, we'll be focusing on taking down shooters and specials with Flag and Maniac damage. For blessings, Lethal Proximity expands the blast radius and allows instant detonation at close range for greater crowd control, while Execution adds 20% bonus damage, a perfect synergy with the pistol's stagger and explosions. As for Curios, I run a balanced mix of toughness, health, and stamina, although you can also swap out the stamina for additional toughness if you want to be extra tanky. For perks, I prioritize 3 toughness and 3 stamina regen, as well as at least 1 sprint efficiency, with the remaining slots flexible for gunner resistance, corruption resistance, or whatever else your mission calls for. Now, let's tie everything together with our talent build. As mentioned earlier, the core of this build is to make the Power Falchion shine, so we're going to work towards the Weapon Specialist Keystone, which pairs perfectly with the Bolt Pistol. We'll start out with Out for Blood into one motion, a must pick that makes the weapon specialist playstyle feel smooth and fluid. Next, grab Close Order Drill on the way to Crack Grenades. And yes, I know there will be some questions about Shredder Frags, but I'll cover that choice towards the end of the video. Pick up this toughness node and then choose Superiority Complex as well as Trench Fighter Drill for the bonus attack speed. This makes the Falchion feel so much better to use. From there, take Serrated Blades for the added bleed damage. It adds constant DPS if you are locked out of Empowered mode and helps against monsters as well. Our aura is going to be Survivalist, and the ammo regen keeps this build topped off for the playstyle that we want. After that, grab Demolition Stockpile and Grenade Tinkerer to improve grenade uptime and efficiency. For the combat ability, we're going to take the trusty Voice of Command with Duty and Honor. It instantly restores toughness, adds gold toughness, and thanks to this update, you can now sprint and pop it, turning you into a bulldozer charging through enemies. From here, we split the talents across 3 paths. On the left, grab Precision Strike for weak spot damage, and Fully Loaded for bigger reserves. This also buffs Survivalist Aura by giving you back more ammo. In the middle path, take Demolition Team for grenade returns, which only gets stronger at higher difficulties. Tactical Awareness improves Voice of Command's uptime, and we cap it off with Bring It Down to boost Ogrin and boss damage. With our remaining points, grab Close Quarters Killzone into Desperado. This is a sizable boost for the Falchion thanks to its strong finesse multipliers. Then, pick Agile Engagement for extra combat power when swapping between weapons, and Exploit Weakness for bonus damage whenever you crit. Finally, we round it out with Weapon Specialist to cement our playstyle with the Power Falchion, and always prepared to make sure our bolt pistol almost never runs dry. And that's the complete build. The core loop of this build is simple. Secure a kill with your bolt pistol, swap to the Power Falchion for enhanced mobility and attack speed, and as long as you land at least one melee kill, your pistol reloads around, letting you repeat the cycle endlessly until you run out of ammo. This build is an aggressive, in-your-face style of play that works best when you can use your mobility to close the gap between you and shooters. However, should you require something more robust to deal with groups of shooters and thicker crowds from a little further away, perhaps you might like to try the Lock Mark III bolt gun instead. Unlike the bolt pistol, which thrives on the front lines, the bolt gun prefers to be on the edge of the fight. In return, you become a walking mortar, scattering enemies with explosive bolts and wrecking their advance. And because the veteran's suppression talent is now a built-in passive, using the bolt gun to snipe key targets while under fire is not a problem anymore. It's actually very satisfying to hipfire it with precision, much like the Agrippina shotgun. Although you won't be as agile as with the bolt pistol, the one motion talent helps your responsiveness. You can actually fire a shot before the draw animation is complete, so use this to your advantage. So long as you can react a little quicker to a special spawning, you'll still be able to take them out before they become a problem. If you'd like to try adding the bolt gun to your loadout instead, I would build this the same way as the bolt pistol, adding flak and maniac damage to deal with shooters and specials. For blessings, pinning fire is a very effective choice for it, since a single well-placed shot can immediately get you to full stacks thanks to your large stagger area. Your second blessing will vary depending on what you'd like to do. Puncture is a decent blessing for this weapon for added damage to meaty targets like monsters and bosses. Surgical gives you extra combat power by allowing you to crit reliably with ADS. Despite the bolt gun's lower damage, it still has a decent multiplier attached to it, letting you potentially take out specials and gunners with a single shot. Fire Frenzy is my choice, since it fits with how close to the front lines I like to fight. The added damage can also make shorter work of ragers and shotgunners that get a little too close to you for comfort. Shattering Impact was something that I thought about as well, but because the bolt gun's smaller mag and how much tankier crushers are, it's just not good use of ammo to try and gun them down with this mark in particular. Now, to answer some questions, starting with why crack grenades? Well, the bolt pistol and the bolt gun, by extension, already kind of acts like mini frag grenades, staggering and disrupting enemies in a small radius. You combine this with Voice of Command, which allows you to stagger even crushers and maulers onto the ground, and your kit already has very strong crowd control covered. The biggest issue in this patch are crushers, because now they are much more tankier than ever, and a single crack grenade, unbuffed, no longer kills them outright like it used to do. That's why we pair the crack grenades with Grenade Tinkerer, and together with Superiority Complex and Bring It Down, you can push past the Damnation Breakpoint and even one-shot Havoc 40 crushers with nearly 10k HP. With 3 crack grenades by default and their faster detonation, they're actually a very reliable elite killer now compared to last time where something would die before your crack grenade would go off. Now, that said, if you prefer frag grenades for space-making plays, like clearing a revive in the higher levels, then you can absolutely swap to frag grenades and run Grenadier instead for maximum value. The rest of the build path doesn't really change that much at all. So, with that, we've come to the end of this video. This is a build that I've been enjoying a lot. It's a very active and dynamic playstyle that really highlights not just the strength of the Power Falchion, but also pairs it together with a build that allows it to flourish. The fact that you can swap between bolt pistol and bolt gun for a similar playstyle but at a different tempo gives a little variety too. I hope you give this build a go and remember to tweak it to your liking. Thanks again to Fatshark for sponsoring this video, and I will see you in the next one. Varlets.
Well, gives me hope for the rest of us.
I'll be the last. I can see it.